This is the weekly roundup here on EAC News Channel, your look back at the past week in the Kingdom of Wonder. A very good evening, I'm Darshana Gauchen.
The Prime Minister of Cambodia, Hun Sen, has promised to protect all investors in a favourable environment, especially to protect security, peace, political and economic stability. Addressing the Cambodian-Vietnam Investment and the Trade Promotion Forum on the evening of November 8, 2022, Prime Minister Hun Sen said on behalf of the Royal Government, I would like to ensure that all investors have favourable environment, security and political stability, as well as macroeconomic stability, a stable legal framework and institutions, transparency and predictable accountability. According to June 2022 report, the World Bank estimates that Cambodia's economic will grow by 4.5% in 2022, indicating that domestic economic activity and exports are continuing to recover in the wake of the COVID-19 epidemic. Growth has been uneven in all areas due to inflations caused by the war in Ukraine. However, the World Bank has assessed that the favourableness of the new investment law, accompanied by bilateral trade agreements to boost investments and trade, which has helped Cambodia achieve 6% of annual growth for the intermediate term. This report recommends a number of policies that can support the economic recovery activities. Recommendations include the need for the continued efforts to prevent the spread of COVID-19, to further strengthen the trust of consumers and investors, to boost exports, especially agricultural products, through the trade facilitation of the reduced costs due to business and continue to balance retail prices in the market. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine arrived in Cambodia to meet and thank the Prime Minister of Cambodia, Hun Sen, for his support for the Ukraine and the Russian aggression. In a meeting with the Prime Minister Hun Sen at the Peace Palace in Phnom Penh this morning, November 9, 2022, Mr. Dmitry Kulba celebrated the 69th anniversary of Cambodia's Independence Day, thanked Prime Minister Hun Sen as the chair of the ASEAN on the clear position on the Russian-Ukraine war. Assistant Prime Minister Ng Sopalet told reporters His Excellency Kulba also thanked Cambodia for supporting the assurance and the statement of the ASEAN foreign ministers expressing concern over the situation in Ukraine, which calls for an end to the conflict immediately and negotiate the end of the war, and also Cambodia to be founding supporter of the UN General Assembly resolution on the invasion of Ukraine. Kulba praised Cambodia for recovering from the war and building the country as developed as it is today, saying this is Ukraine's dream. The Prime Minister of Cambodia, Hun Sen, said that Cambodia is a country that has gone through a war that can understand the feelings of the people of Ukraine today. He stressed that Cambodia's position on the Russia-Ukraine war is a respect of international law and that Cambodia also opposes the invasion and threatens its independence of territorial integrity. Prime Minister of Cambodia hopes that the people of Ukraine can achieve peace and development in the near future. Cambodia has been a staunch opponent of the Russian aggression, voting against the invasion and demanding that Russia withdraw its troops from Ukraine. However, Cambodia does not support sanctions against Russia. Consider that sanctions against Russia will cause more losses. In a telephone conversation with the President of Ukraine on November 2nd, Cambodia Prime Minister Hun Sen expressed regret over the loss of life due to the war in Ukraine, as he told the Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky that there is no war, it can end the war. With this discussion, he's also announced to send miners to help Ukraine, and the Prime Minister himself is also planning to visit Ukraine.
The King of Cambodia, His Majesty King Norodom Sihamoni, graciously allowed the Sultan of Brunei and the Presidents and Prime Ministers of ASEAN member states to pay a courtesy visit to the Royal Palace at 10 a.m. on Thursday. EAC News reporter Darshana Gauchen has more.
Present during the royal visit in the Palace Throne Hall was also Prime Minister Hun Sen, the Minister of the Royal Palace, Kong Sam-ol, and the King's personal advisor, Kui Sopal. ASEAN heads of state and government who came to pay their respects to the king included the Sultan of Brunei, the President of Indonesia, the President of the Philippines, the Prime Ministers of China, Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, and Singapore, and the Foreign Minister of Ukraine. According to the Cambodian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, 34 ASEAN heads of state and government and leaders of international institutions are attending the 40th and 41st ASEAN summits and related summits from the 10th to 13th November 2022 in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Darshana Gauchan, EAC News.
Prime Minister Hun Sen and Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha have agreed upon 8 points, which includes further cooperation and trade between Cambodia and Thailand. The two heads of government have agreed to promote trade to reach $15 billion. EAC News reporter Dashan Gojin has the details.
The two prime ministers met at the Peace Palace on Thursday, 10th November, where they agreed to continue working together to promote the core role of ASEAN and to promote cooperation in the fields of education, tourism, trade, and especially in the fields of agriculture, border security, climate change, transportation links, and demining. Minister attached to the Prime Minister, Ieng Sopalait, told reporters after the meeting, promoting trade cooperation by seeking further trade in other sectors, especially agriculture, will increase trade volume between the two countries up to $15 billion. Trade between Cambodia and Thailand in 2021 reached nearly $8 billion, which was an increase of 10% compared to 2020. Exports from Cambodia to Thailand in 2021 amounted to $894 million, a 22% difference to 2020, which had seen Cambodian exports amount to $1.15 billion. Imports from Thailand increased by 16% from $6.1 billion in 2020 to $7.1 billion in 2021. Darshana Gauchan, EAC News.
The spokesperson of the Ministry of Interior, Kiew Sopet, has clarified that U.S. security forces have not requested for the right to shoot if bystanders use their phones to take pictures of the U.S. presidential convoy attending the ASEAN summit in Cambodia. Spokesperson Kiew Sopet confirmed to EAC News by telephone on Wednesday evening that U.S. security forces have not requested the right to shoot anyone who uses their phone to take pictures or videos of the U.S. presidential convoy in Cambodia while President Joe Biden is in the country to attend the ASEAN summit. The clarification came after a widely shared Telegram voice message falsely claimed that U.S. security forces had asked the Cambodian government for permission to shoot anyone who tries to follow or overtake the U.S. presidential convoy carrying President Biden and his delegation to the ASEAN summit. The viral voice message also claimed that the security forces had requested the right to shoot anyone who raises their phone to take pictures of the presidential convoy and the suspicion that the phone could be a weapon. The Ministry of Interior spokesperson responded to a query from EAC News saying, "Such a thing does not exist. This information is untrue. Even if the request was real, it is doubtful that we would agree to it. Usually, the safety precautions of the U.S. delegation have been implemented and everything will be in order." The royal government has prepared more than 10,000 joint forces to patrol and protect the streets of Phnom Penh, where visiting delegations will drive through, and particularly around the Sokha Hotel, where the ASEAN summit is primarily being hosted, in order to secure the safety of both national and foreign delegations attending the summit. President Joe Biden will visit Cambodia from the 12th to the 13th of November to attend the East Asia Summit and the annual U.S.-ASEAN Summit. The U.S. president will then attend the G20 Summit from the 13th to the 16th of November in Indonesia. The 2022 ASEAN Chairman, Prime Minister Hun Sen, has said that in the context of returning to a normal socio-economic situation, the private sector has and continues to play an important and indispensable role in joining ASEAN's efforts to promote the development of environmentally friendly, resilient, and sustainable practices. Speaking at the ASEAN Business and Investment Summit 2022, Prime Minister Hun Sen said that private sector assistance has helped ASEAN to boost economic activity, trade, and investment, and especially promote foreign direct investment and maximize the benefits of existing ASEAN free trade agreements. This assistance has further helped promote the development of information technology, digital technology, research, innovation, and human resources through the transfer of technology, knowledge, reskilling, and upskilling. The ASEAN chairman further stressed the importance of promoting fraternal development, the environment, and digitalization to reduce the digital gap, supplement financial needs for the rehabilitation of sustainable socio-economic development, and more. The ASEAN Business and Investment Summit 2022 began on the 9th of November 2022 and will end on the 10th of November 2022. The meeting will focus on the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, socio-economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, ASEAN's digital age, green and sustainability growth, and especially the benefits of free trade agreements between private companies and ASEAN leaders. According to the director of Sihanoukville Provincial Department of Tourism, Tang Sujit Krishna, approximately 500,000 visitors came to Sihanoukville during the 3-day water festival holiday from the 7th to the 9th of November 2022. EAC News reporter Dashanan Gochin has more details.
The director of the Sihanoukville Provincial Department of Tourism stated that there were a total of 494,919 tourists that came to Sihanoukville during this period, indicating a 344.55% increase in tourism from the previous year. From this total, 488,608 were local visitors and 6,311 were foreign visitors. Additionally, there were 6 flights that arrived at the Sihanoukville airport, carrying a total of 249 passengers, indicating a 500% increase from the previous year. The flights were carrying 16 local visitors and 233 foreign visitors. In comparison, there was only 1 flight that landed in Sihanoukville during the Water Festival in 2021, carrying 22 people. In regard to the islands in Sihanoukville, there were 2,780 visitors in total, of which 1,948 were local visitors and 832 were foreign visitors. As for beaches and resorts, a total of 491,890 visitors were recorded, indicating an increase of 353.07% from the previous year. From the total, 486,644 were local visitors and 5,246 were foreign visitors. Darshana Gauchan, EAC News.
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
On Friday afternoon, His Majesty King Norodom Sihamoni put out the victory fire that was lit on the 69th anniversary of National Independence Day at the Independence Monument in Phnom Penh. The King of Cambodia extinguished the victory flame on Friday, 11th November, 3 days after it was lit on National Independence Day. Many high-ranking government officials, dignitaries, and ambassadors were present to witness the extinguishing ceremony. The Independence Monument was built in 1958 to memorialize Cambodia's full independence from French colonization. Cambodia was under French colonial rule from 11th August 1863 to 9th November 1953. The monument was designed by famed architect Van Molivan in the shape of an open lotus in the style of Angkor Wat. One document has noted that the 100 Naga heads in its structure represents the almost 100 years that Cambodia was under French influence. This Friday morning, 11th November 2022, the ASEAN Chairman, Prime Minister Hun Sen, welcomed all honored guests to the 40th and 41st ASEAN Summits and related summits, including the Sultan of Brunei, the Presidents of Indonesia and the Philippines, the Prime Ministers of Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, and Singapore, and other notable heads of state and governments in attendance, including ASEAN Dialogue partners. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
Prime Minister Hun Sen extended a warm welcome to all guests based on the ongoing friendly relations among all ASEAN members and external partners who share the same vision of addressing challenges in the region together. The Prime Minister also apologised for the First Lady's absence due to a back problem that prevents her from sitting for too long. The First Lady is currently being treated for this condition. Prime Minister Hun Sen delivered the opening remarks for the summit after the ASEAN anthem played and the Cambodian artists gave their welcoming performances. Afterwards, the leaders of the ASEAN member states took to the stage to take a group photo. The summit agenda for today's included the photo exhibition of Cambodia's contribution to the ASEAN, the 40th ASEAN Summit, the 41st ASEAN Summit Retreat Session, the 25th ASEAN-China Summit, the 23rd Asian Republic of Korea Summit, and the 12th ASEAN UN Summit. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
The Prime Minister of Cambodia and the Chairman of ASEAN in 2022 has noted that ASEAN has been able to overcome the global threat of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the ASEAN and global economy is still fragile and divided, which requires the association to work together to achieve a peaceful, modern, resilient ASEAN community. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the 40th and 41st ASEAN summits and related meetings on Friday morning, Prime Minister Hun Sen said that despite the colossal challenges, ASEAN has organized the ASEAN Foreign Ministers, Socio-Cultural Community Ministers, Economic Ministers, Defense Ministers, and other ministerial meetings with satisfactory results. He added that this shows ASEAN's solidarity towards multilateralism, maturity in diplomatic engagement, and a determination for peace, stability, and humanity for all. The ASEAN chair said that while the world has been going through the COVID-19 crisis for nearly 3 years, ASEAN has been successful in reviving social and economic activities based on the assessment and forecast of the ASEAN Plus 3 Macroeconomic Research Office. Each ASEAN member state has been able to achieve positive economic growth, and the ASEAN region as a whole will achieve a growth rate of 5.3% and 4.9% in 2022 and 2023 respectively. This forecast is high compared to other regions of the world. However, the ASEAN chair also noted that the current socio-economic situation in ASEAN, as well as in the whole world, still remains fragile and divided, so ASEAN must stay united in its wisdom to make the right decisions and policies to address the strategic challenges the region faces. Prime Minister Hun Sen said, "As we move on forward, let us not forget our past and values that have been built upon and stood for. I believe that it is not often mentioned, but our motto, ASEAN One Vision, One Identity, One Community, still holds true to its values today." He stressed that ASEAN must focus on the common goal of mutual development for peace, stability, and the betterment of the region. He said, "Our relationships here are not created by chance, but through years of hard work, commitment, and perseverance. We must treasure and be grateful of what we have built, and therefore maintaining our unity, solidarity, and centrality is of utmost priority in order for our region to sustain and be resilient for what is to come."
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Ukraine signed on to the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia on Thursday afternoon to become its 50th member. EAC News reporter Dekanin has more.
While Cambodia has been the chair of ASEAN in 2022, a total of 7 countries have signed the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia. Secretary of State for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and spokesperson for the ASEAN Summit, Gong Pok, said, "The fact that we have up to 7 countries that have signed this treaty in a year is a major accomplishment for Cambodia, as becoming a member of this treaty is not something that happens often. Furthermore, we can be proud of our ability to strengthen partnerships and attract the interest and support of countries outside the region." The spokesperson also remarked on ASEAN's desire to see peace and stability in Ukraine as the war has now continued for nearly 9 months and caused negative effects across the world, including food, energy, and security crisis. Responding to questions from reporters at a press conference on Thursday evening, spokesperson Gong Pok stressed the importance of peace and stability as the foundation for the ASEAN region and said that the association also wants to see peace and stability re-established in Ukraine. He added that ASEAN is also ready to facilitate if the relevant parties request the association to do so, especially while Cambodia is still the chair. The spokesperson also noted that the ASEAN Summit in Cambodia could be a good opportunity for a bilateral meeting between the foreign ministers of Russia and Ukraine, adding that Cambodia was ready to mediate if requested. The Ukrainian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dmytro Kuleba, signed the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia on Thursday morning. This is an official step for Ukraine to become an external partner of ASEAN. Nekanin, EAC News.
The Deputy Commander-in-Chief of the Royal Cambodian Armed Forces and Commander of the Army, Lieutenant General Hun Manait, met with the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Vietnam People's Army on the occasion of the 23rd ASEAN Chiefs of Army Multilateral Meeting in Hanoi, Vietnam. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has further details.
The Deputy Chief of Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, Lieutenant General Nguyen Van Nia, welcomed the Royal Cambodian Air Force's delegation to Vietnam and especially expressed his delight at seeing Lieutenant General Hun Manait take the time to attend the summit as Cambodia is currently hosting the 40th and the 41st ASEAN Summits and related summits. At the same time, the Vietnamese Lieutenant General praised the results of the cooperation between the two armies, especially the positive results achieved after the previous official visit of the Cambodian Army Commander. A Royal Cambodian Armed Forces delegation last visited Vietnam in August 2022. They engaged in joint training sessions and exercises with the Vietnamese Army on disaster relief in September 2022. Lieutenant General Nguyen Van Nia said he hopes the two countries' armies will continue to cooperate well along the border and continue to support human resource training. In response, Lieutenant General Hun Manait congratulated Vietnam on successfully controlling the spread of COVID-19 as the precautions for the hosting of the 23rd Asian Chiefs and Army Multilateral Meeting in person for the first time in 2 years. He also thanked the Vietnam People's Army for a warm welcome extended to the Royal Cambodian Armed Forces delegation, who intend to participate in joint training and competition at the 30th Asian Army's Rifle Meet. Lieutenant General Hun Manait also stressed the importance of cooperation, helping each other in the spirit of friendship and the solidarity under the circumstances as neighbours with good border relations. He expressed great hope that the historical relationship between Cambodia and Vietnam will continue for generations to come. During the meeting, both sides expressed their pride in development of friendly relations and comprehensive cooperation between the two countries, in line with the principles and the directions of major corporations set by the two governments. This includes the strengthening of enhancement of bilateral relations and continued joint efforts to carry out tasks effectively and efficiently, overall aiming for more active development and cooperation relations between the two armies. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
On Thursday morning, the China Road and Bridge Corporation and the Cambodian Ministry of Public Works and Transport jointly signed a Memorandum of Understanding on the construction of the Phnom Penh-Ba Viet Expressway. According to the Minister of Public Works and Transport, Senior Minister Sun Chanthol, the signing of this MOU finalizes the negotiations for the concession agreement on the construction of the Phnom Penh-Ba Viet Expressway, which is expected to begin in 2023 and complete in late 2026 or early 2027. The 138-kilometer expressway connecting Phnom Penh and Ba Viet will also have a 5-kilometer-long bridge over the Mekong. Senior Minister Sun Chanthol stated that the Phnom Penh-Ba Viet Expressway project is expected to cost over $1.6 billion. He added that the Ho Chi Minh Highway will be connected to the Phnom Penh-Ba Viet Expressway through National Road 22. He confirmed that this expressway is part of Asian Highway 1, which is an important route that connects Myanmar, Vietnam, China, and Thailand, and serves as a crucial commercial and transportation route. Thank you for watching the weekly roundup here on EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, you can check out our website, eacnews.asia, or search EAC News on Telegram, Smart TV, or at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team on Monday night at 8 p.m. We will see you then.